Okay, then. So looks like we are online. Thanks very much for coming today. Just to make sure everybody can hear and see me, especially our online users, please confirm that I'm visible and you can hear me well and see presentation on your screens. Yep. Okay, thank you. So let's begin then. Well, before we start, let me introduce myself. My name is Pavel. I've been working for Andersen for quite a while now, but my last project is about testing of embedded systems. So it's been quite a while since I've been testing myself the web applications. So about a month ago, probably, it was about time. So just to remember what it's like, what it's about, like this DevTools, what is used by testers, to test web applications, stuff like that. So I just decided to refresh my memory sort of to get back to this topic. So kind of searching the internet and reading books and stuff like that, and figure out that there's quite a lot of interesting, useful things which I never used before when I used to test this web application. Probably since then it went a bit further and many new things appeared in this sphere. So I decided to share some of this knowledge, what I found, what I learned during this period. Well, probably better to highlight the word some, because you probably know DevTools, you probably work with them, many of you every day. So that's it's kind of huge thing that it's probably unlimited, and you need 1, 2, 3 days probably training to get knowing everything about that. So it won't go so far. We have only 1 hour, and we'll take some little things which might be used by any one of us during the day. It's not even these particular things that I'm going to explain you're going to be used, maybe used, but might give you ideas of what can be implemented or used in our daily life for testing. And today we're going to cover only a few moments. As you see, our agenda is not that big, so I will remind you what is incognito mode, why it's needed for, and well, why it's good to use sometimes. Network sources, console tabs, this performance insights. Yeah, I forgot to tell you that we'll be talking about the Chrome DevTools because I like that anyway. And well, in only Chrome DevTools they have this performance insights. It's kind of new sort of thing. Well, I just explain it later, and we'll see what specific or sort of unique features of the tools other browsers have, which Chrome DevTools doesn't. So that's our plan for today. Just let's agree with you that, as you see, it has like 6 sections. Whoever is offline, you can ask your questions after each section, because by the end of this meetup, some questions might be forgotten and lost. And whoever is online, please send your questions to our chat. I think it's available there. And I'll try to answer them at the end of this meetup. Well, hopefully I'll answer them all. So let's begin then. And we'll start with incognito mode. So just to remind you what is like. We'll be using this binary wheel website. Probably some of you or many of you know that source. Well, it's when they used in some training, some courses, some kind of good tool to get known online or web sort of application structures. So to get into DevTools, we just go press F7 or Control-Shift-I, and I'll just kind of remind you what it's like, what is on the main page, because some of you probably didn't open it like me for quite a while now. So here you can change your dimensions of your screen. You can select device you would like to read or to test your application on. You can change it manually. You can change the zoom in and out. It depends really what you need to test and what you need to see there on the screen. So we'll better don't use zoom so close. There's also thing like DPR device pixel ratio. Is you don't know, it's kind of a ratio of physical pixels and logical ones. So kind of when you're testing, let's say, mobile phone like iPhone, so it goes straight by default to 3.0 because they have this forget this word, displays anyway high definition ones. So it's kind of the default. On the right hand side, there's a little drop down with other features they can be used, like take a screenshot or put a ruler on top. Also, I want to highlight this bar on the top, where you can adjust your visible screen or to use some more devices what you're going to be testing your application on. It's not mandatory. Some of websites don't have it. It's just up to developers to put it up there. So it's kind of handy thing. So you don't have to adjust it manually every time when you change the device or when you change resolution and stuff like that. On the right-hand side, you see this little pointer where you can inspect any element on your page. And also you can, if you click the next button, you can just use a full screen, on the left-hand side, so the picture gets more visible, your website gets more visible. And further on the right-hand side is console sources and all these tabs, which are mostly used by us, by QA engineers. Well, not even us, but probably developers as well. Here I'm just trying to show that even if you put it a full screen sort of thing, you can still adjust the ratio. Just keep an eye on the right-hand corner, top corner, dimensions of your screen. And here you can see there's so many different tabs can be used here. A bit further right, there's a little note with 2 arrows there probably on the page there. Settings button where you can adjust the UI of your screen, so you don't see probably the screen there. And on the right corner, if you press the 3 dots, you can put your DevTools anywhere on the screen you like, wherever it's handy for you for some tests. You can open any file which is stored on your local machine if this web application is stored on the machine. Well, if you're testing some features which are not deployed yet. You can open any additional tab if you need them to. So this big list. And also if you click Ctrl-Shift-P, you get this list of commands, which there's so many of them, which you can be really handy for some tests. Well, I'll just explain you or show you how it can be working on, say, Recorder. Recorder basically records all the user interactions with this application he is working on, or she is working on, sorry. And for example, you have to test this online shop, and well, once in a while you have to go through all the steps by adding products to your basket, checking out, and see how it works. And every time when developers launch some new features there, you have to do it over and over again. And especially if you don't have automation, so automation tests, you have to do it manually. So it's kind of boring and time-consuming job. So you can start recording by using this button record. We'll just add something on our basket, so this aprons, so add something else there. You see it's kind of here like a manual test, going through all the steps, so it's taken a while, especially if you try to change colors and things like that. And then when we go to the basket, things are getting even worse, because then you have to, you'll get there in a minute, you have to fill in the form where you have to put in your valid, let's say, name, email, and stuff like that. And in our case, well, this form is huge. We won't be filling in now because we'll stay here for the night. I'll just try to explain how it works. So you just put your data in. Well, don't mind these figures. So just make sure you put valid ones, valid data. Go all the way down, press checkout, and let's presume that's the end of our test case. Well, that's the scenario. Press the end record button, and that's it. It's kind of saved. So it's you are kind of automated your tests. Then next morning, say your developers pushed another update to your website. So to test it, you don't have to click through all the steps again, because we spent a lot of time here. You just need to go to recordings. All the scenarios are sort of recorded there. All you need is just press button play, and it will do everything for itself. Just be careful with it, because when you try this feature, make sure you don't scroll too much, up and down, because it might cause some errors there. And be precise pressing the buttons when you're making the error, because sometimes the system might behave not as you expect. Well, it can bring some errors, but if you do everything nice and precisely, so everything will be fine. So here we are, our tests are done, and no errors, nothing, and everything seems to be as expected. So you can pass this test case if you have something like that. So that's pretty much all about the overview. Just to remind you again about what we have here on kind of main screen of our DevTools. And as you can see, there's so many commands which can be used. And well, my advice to you, just maybe go through some of them, and you might find something useful for your test cases, for your scenarios what you were producing, if you're again doing manually and you don't have somebody to automate some of your test cases. Yeah, and I also have to remind you about this button, reload. This normal reload, it's, well, when you reload it normally. If you do hard reload, it will empty all your cache in your browser. And the last one, hard reload, and I can't remember the name of it. Empty cache and hard reload, yeah. Basically, it will empty cache not only in this tab where you're working on, it will empty cache in all the tabs of your browser which are open during this session. So in some cases, it might be useful as well. That's it about the little overview of this DevTools main screen, we call it this way. Do you have any questions so far? So let's move on then. So incognito mode, why do we need to use it? For some cases, it's essential to use this incognito mode, because I'll explain it later why, and I'll show you how it works there. But it isolates cookies, bypasses cache data. You can test login states in one browser at the same time with different users, because if you log in as different users without using this incognito mode, well, in both tabs, you'll be the same one user, so it's kind of not really useful. Well, it helps us to avoid extension interfaces, because every one of us, especially testers, we have so many extensions in our dev browser, because, like, to help us in daily life in testing, and they interfere with every single website we open and we test. So incognito mode will help you to avoid this insertion. Also, mimicking first-time visitor experience. Yeah, every time when you open the website as incognito mode, you are like a new visitor here. So it's kind of useful sometimes, especially when you have to test the behavior of your web application for new users. And we're using the incognito mode. It enhances the your privacy and security. And here on booking.com example, I'll show you a few things here. So let's say isolating cookies and storage. If you go to application and you see the way storage is saved, and you see quite a lot of data stored somewhere. And if you open up cookies as well, there's a huge amount of them. Well, huge, it could be better. I mean, if you understand what I mean, huge, when you compare it when you open the window in incognito mode. So what we're going to do now, again, as you can see here, I want to show you that some of the data, which when you reload the web page without incognito mode, it caches data from your cache, so it doesn't go through all the pictures, all the data which was used before. Let's say if some changes were implemented in between your updating the page, well, you will have the same data which we used to have until these changes are done. Here I opened up the incognito mode. As you can see here, I'm not logged in. It asked me about cookies policies, that I accept them. And if you go into application, you can see that there's much less storage they saved, and well, quite a few probably essential cookies from booking.com. You can't read of all of them probably, because I doubt some of them website wouldn't work at all, but at least you don't get so many of them interfered. And also, if you can see our size of our files there, well, sorry, basically it's all coming from the source, not from your cache data. So login states, as I said, if you log in as a user on, not in private mode, just in open a tab in your web browser, and then you open up the Incognito mode and log in with different credentials. At the same time, you can test the website behavior for different kind of users, because in our case, for example, there I was logged in on my name, Pavel Struski, just try to remember the names there, and then I will log in with my Google account where I'm Struski Pavel. And there I was like a Genius 3 level, here I'm Genius 1 level. So with different preferences, maybe different special offers for this kind of user. So here you can, same time in same browser, just in different tabs, test these features if it's needed. What else would I would like to say about the incognito mode? Yeah, avoiding extension interference. As you can see, I have quite a few. It was not that many, probably some of you have even more of them. But every time when you open your network tab, you can see not only requests which you send and well, receive the answers back, but also the requests which are these extensions are sent into network to the source or somewhere else, and they come back, so they kind of interfere with all your requests. So to avoid that, open up your incognito mode, and there are no extensions whatsoever. So you get nice, clean sort of environment to test your web application. Well, that's all I want to say about the incognito mode. Maybe any questions about that? Okay, so let's move on then. And next is network. So as you can see, there are only like 4 sections in this part of our meetup, but a network is, well, it would be hundreds probably of them, but we'll touch only a tip of this iceberg of network tab, because there's so much going on, and we won't be touching this, analyzing requests and changing them. We'll just check the time breakdown on the right-hand side, this waterfall section. File size inspection, it means that what file size are being loaded from internet and how it interferes with your page load. Request blocking and network request overriding. So we'll start, we'll go with Homla website, this online store. Easy to use and, well, easy to show some features about that. So to get to our network tab, we just press F12, and we see all the requests coming through. Well, this site was open, so ongoing requests keep going in. So we just refresh the page and analyze all the requests we are getting from the beginning when page is loaded. So as you can see, there's quite a lot of them. And here you can, first of all, check the waterfall model. Is like this blue line coming first, is document object model. Basically, it's HTML document, which gives so if your browser idea what's going to be loaded, where and when everything has to be shown, sort of a skeleton of your web application. And then this red line, it means that your site is fully loaded and it's ready for user to be worked with. And if you click or highlight any of these requests, it will tell you more about how much time it took to load it, what processes were there, was it stalled for some time, so the queuing because of the other requests were going through before this turn came, and how much time it took to load this page. So all this data can be achieved here. We won't go deep into it, what is good, what is bad. The only thing at the bottom here, you can see DOM content load and the load. It's kind of all together how long it took for DOM to be loaded and how long it took for a website to be loaded. And on the right-hand side, if you click there, you get more options like big review, big request rows, overview, group by frame, and screenshots. If you click on overview, tick that button, so you see the timeline, how your website was loading during this time. And here you can, let's say, filter all your requests. For example, you need to filter requests which were loaded until the DOM was put. So you just squash it a little bit, move it, and kind of filter away all the requests which were not in this section, which were trying to see. Handy because you don't have to go through all these hundreds and hundreds of requests which you're going through. Also, there's a screenshots button, or not, the ticker. So if you tick there and reload your page, you see screenshots second by second, not second by second, but every time when something is loaded with the timing and the way how the page looks like during the time of period, let's say on first second, and so on. So it's easier to analyze what is user is experiencing when he is loading this page. And again, it's easy to take a screenshot from there and present, attach it to your bug report if it's needed to. And if you go to big rows, you see this request, they have second line there. And when top one, it means that's what data was transferred over the network from the source to your browser. And the bottom is sort of initial volume of this data which is stored on the server. And usually it's kind of compressed. So to avoid, not to overload the network itself, usually compressed goes to your browser and then kind of uncompressed here somehow. And eventually you get the picture, the same one as it was there on the browser, but you're saving network capabilities. But some websites, let's say like this example, you see this JPEG pictures, they were kind of 2 megabytes each. And well, if you have, let's say on a page, so many pictures like that, they will block your network, your capacity of, how do you call it, of your network, and well, might slow a bit your website loading. Here you can block some requests as well. If let's say one request is blocking the other ones, you figure it out, and to prove it to developers, you can block it manually and just see what's happening there with your page. So if you block your requests at the bottom, you can see this list of blocked requests, and requests are enabled, blocked are enabled. And after you refresh your page, in our case, we blocked this sale request with the sale picture. So you can see this is blocked and the picture isn't there anymore. So you can do some research on that. It's just an idea. Nothing's wrong with this picture. We'll just reload it and we'll come back. But to give you an idea, blocking one request, you can see what might have happened if it wasn't blocked. And also you can not only block this request, but override them. But we'll talk about it later, or even now. Let's see. For example, one request, again, same request with this sale big picture. I'll just save locally a different picture, which I saved locally here on my machine, and I replace that picture with my own one, reload the page, and here we go. You don't have this sale anymore. You have the data which you wanted to see there. And for example, doesn't have to be a picture, can be GS code, can be basically anything we want to replace with anything. You just need to save the initial value and replace it on your machine locally. Just don't forget to enable or disable these overrides, because one day I just forgot to disable them and something was completely not working. So I was kind of mad, but then I forgot about this little tick. And when I ticked that, everything was working fine. So that's pretty much it for about the overrides. Any questions? Okay, thanks. Sorry, I just grabbed some water because my throat is getting. So, and we'll move on to the next one. And next we're going to talk about sources. In sources, we have 4 sort of subsections: snippets, overrides, workspace, and content scripts. Overrides we touched a little bit, where we override content of your website, but a little locally. We go to snippets. First, snippets basically some sort of scripts or JavaScripts which might help you to interact with your web page you are testing. It will save you some time to get the results what you are expecting. And on our hand, for example, if you go to snippets, and we'll start with, as far as I remember, thank you. And we'll start with screenshots. You know, every browser have full screenshot option, so you can take not only part of the screen but the whole screen altogether. But unfortunately, some of the websites they don't have this feature. It doesn't mean there is a bug because you can take a full screenshot. It just developers didn't add a couple of lines of code so to enable this feature. And you have 2 options there. For example, this website, to call your developers and say, listen, could you adjust that, please? I need full screenshots to be taken. They can do it for you. Well, or they might be busy. Okay, we'll do it later. So, but you need it now, straight away. So instead of thinking how to do that, you see, that's not a full screen at all. Instead of thinking how to do this, you can take one snippet. I have it saved there. By the way, all the snippets that you save here can be saved here in option, and you can use them as long as you're using this web browser. Run it once. And try to take this full screenshot as well again. That's the old one. And here you get the screenshot. So without without getting into the code of the page itself. So it's kind of handy. And next thing I want to highlight another one. Again, handy for testing the UI experience of. So let's say you need to test the main page of this binary view binary view page, and you have your requirements where you have everything is painted out and everything was how it's supposed to look like. And to ease up the process of comparing expected and actual results, here I'll just change styles a little bit just to show you how it works. And you can use the snippets transparent image. Well, I call it here, could be called differently. And when you can just put your source where your picture is saved, where your where expected result to see, and it can overlap that, and you see the results are quite different. So there's something mistake. You can just ease it and show that something is missing, style is going wrong for some reason. So that's one of the things which can be used as well in your daily life. And there's another one. For example, you are testing some website, and there's quite a lot of images saved there, and you need to download them. Just I don't know why you would need that, but still sometimes you do. So again, here on this website, there's quite a lot of them, this Amazon.com. to compare them to initial device, or to see how big the pictures are. I don't know. Test could be anything. Your client could ask you anything. You just run the script, which is called, well, I call it download all images. All you need to do is just run it once, and all the images from this website will be downloaded to your downloads on your PC. So again, it's kind of handy. It could be not even images, could be something else you can use it for. You just need to change this script a little bit. And if you're familiar with JavaScript, or you have somebody who can help you with, so they can do anything with the scripts. But on the other project, what they did, they asked, they have to fill in the form every time when they're testing with all the emails, the date of birth and stuff like that. So they just came up to the developers and said, listen, could you make a script a little bit so it will fill up this form for us? He says, no problem. And well, again, a few lines there with valid data was created for them, and every time they have to fill in the form on the page, you just click the button, form is filled, go to the next step. So you don't have to key in every time in this form your email and name and so on. And here I just trying to explain this. Content scripts here is basically these extensions you have in your web browser. So they also kind of have some code which is stored here on your page. And it can be adjusted yourself. You can create even your own sort of script which will be interacting with your web browser and meet your needs, whatever you need to do. Just need to basically how to do that. You need to know JavaScript. Any questions so far about the console, or not console, our snippets and so on? Okay, so let's move on then to the next one. And now we'll talk about console. Again, console is not only the thing where you can see these warnings or errors which are coming out during the page load, because from my experience before, I never even touched these warnings and stuff like that. Probably it's more for developers, but again, it depends on the project. On some projects, probably some of you could do with this data something. Now we'll talk about how to interact with application via console in our work, or how to modify them, how to simulate network conditions, or basically user interactions via console. Because sometimes what you need to do is just click the button on your mouse to perform some action on the page, or you just can use console to perform some actions, because sometimes it's even handier. So if you have your two hands on a keyboard, so every time you go to the mouse, so it's not handy. So you can do everything via console. And for example, your clients would be Samsung, and they ask you what to do. They ask you to check the spelling of all the words on the website. Of course, you have requirements where spelling is correct, and what you need to do is just learn Japanese and check everything, or you don't have enough time for that, you can just use tools what you have in front of you. You can take, let's say, the spelling, go to the source of the page and compare it to your requirements if it's needed to. Well, it's kind of easy here with Japanese language because it's still kind of readable, and you can see the difference between letters sequence, but it will take time for you to check every letter in each word. So there are some other options to do that. For example, if you take that word which we have to test for now, here as an example, this is our requirements, and here we go this over. So you can see here, yeah, there's a mistake there. But when you have these words, like many of them, and you have to check a lot, so it's not the best option here. So you can use console to check that for you. You just take this, copy the words you want to check spelling, put into the console in single brackets. Okay, put it. Yeah, and then triple equal. and take the value you would like to compare it with your requirements. And this could be this value, for example. And straight away get Boolean result here false. So there is mistake there. And you can easily make a bug report on that, taking screenshots, and developers will definitely won't be even arguing with them and won't be searching for the requirements, what it should be. Or if everything is correct, you get the same procedure, they fix that. You just key in the actual result, and at the end you get true, everything's fine, move on to the next one. Again, we are talking about some words and comparing, but that could be used for some other things. It's just up to your imagination and your knowledge of how it can be used. Inspect and modify and done interacting with application. Yeah, it's quite interesting as well how to interact with application. For example, we'll do that here on YouTube example, how to interact with the video playing. What you need to do is just find in your elements for the video section highlighted with and start sending some, let's say, pause commands here in the console, and your video pauses. If you say you play again after that, it will start playing, so you don't have to click on your mouse, or sometimes you don't even required not using mouse, using other tools to get your video working. Another command you can use, for example, if you need to speed it up a little bit, you can use the integrated sort of how to call it, speed changer in your browser, or not in browser, in the YouTube channel, or you can say play rate or by 15, let's say, and speed will increase 15. So your long video, which is might take a little while to play and to watch, could be played much faster. 15, for example, here on YouTube is the maximum speed I could achieve, but again, it's much better than integrated sort of twice as fast. Here I can slow down as well. If let's say you need to see your website, your video frame by frame how it works, so you don't. Here you have limitation 0.2, but you can put, let's say, 0.1, and it will be really slow, and it's you can do whatever it needs to be done with the picture what's playing here in the video. So that's one of the ways to interact with the console, with your application, which are going by, which are sort of integrated into your website. What else we can do with this snip console? Here I was trying to do the loop. So basically, again, you can use this in the video, this little loop button to go around, or you can send command loop, and we'll be going round, or whatever time is needed for you. Yeah, so that's all I want to talk to or tell you about the user interaction with the console tab. Any questions about that, maybe? Okay, then, so let's move on. We are getting close. And next is Performance Insights. Yeah, Performance Insights is sort of new for Chrome DevTools feature. It's kind of experimental sort of thing because no other browser has it. And why we'll test it on the difference between the Performance tab, which any browser has, and Performance Insights. And here we'll see the network activity, render activity, the GPU activity, and so on, timings and things like that. But speaking of the performance of the website, probably the key metrics what our developers and testers are looking at, it's first contentful paint. It's basically when the first image comes to the screen, comes to the screen, so at least kind of browser knows that something is going on there. And the largest content paint is when the more major sort of pictures and major text and most of the page is loaded and kind of visible to user. Then DOM content load is what I said. DOM is kind of structure of our website, so at least the browser knows what to do with this website because it's got structures, it's got skeleton of it. So that's one of the major metrics. And time to interactive, it means that all JavaScript and everything else is loaded, so user can not only see what's going on the page, but also can interact with it. So if he presses button send, it will send something somewhere, or at least it will pretend it will. So here we're coming back to our website for sale, and we are going to open up our DevTools and see the performance tab. As you can see, there's not much text here, only 2 buttons. And performance insights, well, there's quite a lot of text, but some kind of informative stuff. All we need here is load the page button and, well, reload button and record button. If you press record button, it starts recording from the time where you are at the moment. And when you reload the page, it means that it will record loading page from the very beginning. So here we are. In performance tab, when we do that, you get this beauty, like so many colors and everything else. So without any special like knowledge, you can't even understand from the first look like what's going on and what do I do with all these, pictures, graphs, and timings and stuff like that. So it's kind of complicated, but for people who is working with this, so it's kind of useful. That's why Google just decided, no, we're gonna do something more user-friendly for people, and they invented these insights. We'll go to it in a second. What insights means that they are trying to give you some hints and advice what's going on the page, so you don't have to carry about all these requests which are going through, and this blue color and yellow color and stuff like that. So what does it mean, and is it good or is it bad? Here won't tell you what is good, what is bad, but at least we'll give you some ideas what might you have to do it better. And here in our performance insight, we'll just reload our page. We won't be using any throttling like CPU or network, but you can if you need to. Disable cache. I always have disabled cache just to not to use my PC cache storage for this test, and we'll start recording. And as you can see, it's not that scary as we saw it on the picture before. On the left-hand side here, you see the time with load time of your page, and on the right-hand side, the thing is insights and details. That's why it's called performance insights. Here you see all the requests which are going through, all this key data which are marked FCP and so on, kind of breakpoints during the load of the page. And when you click on the insight and on each request, it will give you some hints what's wrong with that, what might be wrong with it, because it looks like there's something wrong with it because you saw this warning sign, but well, probably it's supposed to be like that. But if, let's say, you see something red, so there's more likely that something is wrong. And to understand what is wrong, what didn't go as expected, so it will give you some text, human readable, not these pictures and lines. So you will understand what to do with that and who address it to. Yeah, this long task. Yeah, they all kind of long. And as you can see, this little text, timings, what took for page to load. In our case, the screenshot, because there was some re-rendering and something was moving up and down. So was it supposed to be like that or was it not? Well, I don't know. But if it was crucial for a website, was loading long or something like that, you can address it to developers and he will tell you it's supposed to be like that or supposed to be differently. And you see this red LCP 5.8 seconds, quite long, and they highlight in red. And then down below they say, listen, you have to change that, and that to improve this because in our case, well, it's only the image was loading for 5 seconds. Hard to say why. Maybe because my quite I wasn't in Incognito tab, and as I said before, something was interfering. In this case, it just to give you ideas what it's like performance insights, and that it's much easier to work with content here than in performance in Chrome browser or any other browser you might work with. And yeah, you can see the renderer again. It's more precise information. I won't be going into it because I haven't even gone myself. So if you ask me a question, what's going on there, what's the run task, and is it big or not, did it take long or not, I won't be able to explain you because, well, I didn't go into development of the website, and I didn't go too deep into this question. We just need to have overlook of what's happening here in performance insights. Do you have any questions maybe about that? If not, we can move on further. And what we would like to cover, yeah, other browsers. Other browsers, I know there's so many of them, but most of them, they have sort of unique features, and DevTools, they have them as well. So we'll take a look at the Edge, Opera, and Firefox. What I like about the Edge, here we're still in Chrome, but we'll go to the Edge in a second. Yeah, if you see, when you open the DevTools, again, the same way, Control-Shift-I, you can get pretty much same picture as in Chrome DevTools. On the left-hand side, well, in my case, on the left-hand side, you see the dimensions responsive. You can throttle your network, throttle your CPU, change the devices, what you like to test your application with, and inspect elements here at the moment. Again, you have these additional buttons on the right-hand side. You can turn your screen around, you can take screenshots, and so on. So as you can see, it's pretty much looks pretty much same as Chrome DevTools. But if you're going to our console, you can see all this again errors which came out, and on the right hand side there's a logo of Copilot, this H IE helper. So it will try to help you to find out what error is about, why it occurred, and what to do to fix that. Might be handy as well. Here, even you don't have to ask about this particular error. Well, first answer will be about this one, but then you can just keep conversation and try to figure out other issues that might be here on the website, not opening ChatGPT in separate window or separate browser. So that might be useful feature from my side. Otherwise, pretty much look the same. Opera, well, Opera, it has this Chromium engine on the bottom, under the bonnet, so it's pretty much same as Chrome. And even if you open it, you probably don't get this performance insights only. Everything else is absolutely the same. But why I decided to talk about Opera, because it has some special feature, not in DevTools, but the screenshot taker here, just where you put your website to, because every time in other browser you have to take a screenshot and then adjust it in some other application. Here it might be much easier for you. I'll explain in a second. Just here I'm trying to show that everything, well, it's basically Chrome, as you know that. I know this screenshot taker is not about the DevTools. It's more about screenshot taking, but again, we are QA, and sometimes we are trying to make our life easier. That's why I just highlight this Chrome browser. Yeah, here we are. So you can take a screenshot here on the spot, edit it, adjust it the way you want to, put some notes there, highlight something if you needed to, and attach it to your bug report straight away, so you don't have to edit it in separate tools. So I think it's kind of useful thing to know about, because before I didn't like Opera at all, but well, I was trying. Well, while I was preparing for that, I kind of started to use that, and it does work quicker for me. I don't know why. It just, I was performing the same things in Chrome and here in Opera, so I started to like it. I'm not switching from Chrome to something else yet, but I might one day. So you'll see how it goes. Anyway, that's all about the Chrome I want to highlight, and the other one is Firefox. Firefox is well, doesn't have Chromium on the bonnet, but a nice feature they have is they help us to work with the content of the website closer. Here we'll get there shortly, but on the right hand side you see this network panel, which is exactly the same. You have this community button where you can go directly to the Mozilla community, where you can ask all the questions you would like to know about the DevTools, about anything connected to Mozilla, and shortly you can get an answer, because the community is quite big, and well, questions keep going in all the time. So handy thing to use, I think. Sometimes even better than ChatGPT. Just an example that people do respond, and they're kind of live people, not ChatGPT, so it's kind of handy as well sometimes. And if you go into Inspector, well, you see this on the right hand side grid, so you can tick some of them, and you can put these marks on the web page just to see how well it was modified, and here, and how well it was rendered. So that's a useful thing as well when you're testing your UI or your website. So all the pictures are aligned correctly as they're supposed to or not. And the console as well is kind of different from than in Chrome, because on the right hand side you see all these warnings and results, and on the left hand side you can see send all your requests what you needed to. So not sure if it's handy or not, but another thing to try anyway. Well, we came to the end. Thanks very much for watching. Thank you all online viewers as well. If you have any questions, please do ask. I'm here for you. But before we move on to online questions, I just wanted to mention one thing and ask you something, because most of you have received sort of invitation to this event, and probably you will receive a request for the feedback. And that's one of the important things. I would like to ask you to spend a couple of minutes and fill it in. So if I do another meetup, maybe next time, next month or next year, whatever, I make some changes according to this, so it will be better, more interesting, maybe more useful for you. So please don't skip that, and say a few words there, even about screen. Use the better quality screen, or send me. I know the video record, or not recorder, the editor will give you much better results. Would much appreciate that. Thank you for watching. And Pavel, could you help me there? Do you have any questions online? Nice to hear that. Thank you.
Special thanks go for like saying nice words about my favorite browser, like Opera. Thank you. My question would be: is there any chance that one day you'll eventually switch to Incognito?
You never know. You never know. Might happen, because yeah, well, I've been working here with Opera like for a little while, not that much to switch it to completely, because well, it's kind of a thing that I like that, but still I kind of like Chrome because I'm so used to it. But one day.
Okay. So yeah, maybe a question from me, like, what maybe is your top 3 or maybe top 2, or like the favorite one feature like that you can mention when we prepare for this presentation?
The top features from my presentation, basically all of them, because well, they're kind of not precise features, please use this snippet and you'll get your test cases are done quickly and easily. Just I was trying, again, repeat myself to give you an idea that what can be used, transform what ideas I gave you and use them. But in this case, let's say what I was talking about here, using snippets is a good thing. It will ease up your life a lot. Work with console, again, go deeper in there and see what commands you can use, what you can send and receive via the console. And again, it will give you more opportunities to test your website. And probably I didn't go so that far into performance testing because you need special requirements to start working on it, because before you start testing, say, performance of the, so you need to know what's bad and what's good. So at least to get some marks, what's good, and then try different websites and see how would you create, let's say, bug report, because this site loads slow and stuff like that. So I would go there as well, just for myself to learn what you can get out of it. And this pictures I showed before with the performance tab, with all these graphs and stuff like that, I would like as well to get knowing this more in professional sort of way. So when you know something, when you understand, it's will be easier to explain. Maybe will be theme of my next meetup: performance in DevTools. Might be Opera DevTools. You never know. Please. Well, thanks very much. Then, if you don't have any questions, please, you can always ask them in your feedback form, or if you're working for Andersen, you'll find me in Teams. Send your questions, and I'll try to work on that. Thanks very much. Thank you for joining us online. Thank you.